It's 7 p.m.
All right, quiet on the set.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start the party.
Broadcasting around the world. Polkas After Dark. This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
It's another live broadcast. Special edition. A walk through Polka Heaven. Now your hosts, Rob and Jerry.
Hey, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. It is 7 p.m. That's right, Eastern Time. And thank you once again for showing up for episode number 3 of 5 in a series here of remembering our polka favorites, A Walk Through Polka Heaven. I'm Robin Pegg.
And I'm Cherry Chadwick.
And we are so thankful that you decided to join us here this evening. We've got a great program in store for you, so please just sit back, relax, and if you've got us up on your big screen, well, that's a little better anyhow. Yes, sirree, that is the sound of TPM, Take Me Away to Polka Heaven, and you are tuned to Polkas After Dark on Facebook Live, our broadcast link.
With a C.
And also on YouTube. We want to welcome everybody to the broadcast here this evening. Hey, you know, the first episode we had Mr. Donald Kozak from North Tonawanda. He was gracious enough to start us out. Last week, if you got a chance to catch our broadcast, that was Didi Ogrodny. She was here telling us all about the family, Henny and the Versajays, and how they all got started. Bellhops and, oh gosh, just about everybody. This evening we have a very special introduction, and that is going to be with the Nowakowski family. And everybody remembers Mike Nowakowski, famed accordion player with, oh gosh, Sunshine, most recent, the Buffalo Touch. And right now, we'd like to just have you sit back, relax, and listen, and get a chance to catch some of the Nowakowskis. Here they are.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, this is the Nowakowski family. And we're here to give a tribute to Mike. And we're here with Addie, little Addie, his granddaughter, my daughter Janine, and my son Craig. So we're here to give you a few light touches to what his life was like. First of all, he was a big Bills fan. He loved the Bills. And him and his friends got together and they used to be the nuns. And Claude was the Pope. He was a nun. Gary was a nun. Gary Chvoidak.
Ron.
And Ronnie was a nun.
And
Uncle Andy was a nun. And they, as a matter of fact, had pictures that went national. Well, he was really thrilled about that. They all were. Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else?
Oh, what was the Bills game dressed as nuns without the barnoculars? Which, to the naked eye, looked like a regular pair of binoculars, but you could unscrew the top and fill some liquor in there. So
I was a baby, so I couldn't see.
That's
right.
Yeah.
But she's seen the pictures, right, of Papa dressed as a nun?
Yeah, they were there for the miracle comeback against Tennessee. So that was
As a matter of fact, you could go to Mooney's,
yeah.
and they have a nice picture of them as the Bills, the nuns. Unbelievable is what it is. Yeah. And then.
Oh, let's talk about Dad's penchant to fall asleep
anywhere,
anytime. Some of his favorite places to catch a nap were church, the pew at church. You could see him.
I would elbow him, and he'd say, I'm thinking, I'm praying in my head. Resting my eyes and praying in my head. Well, naturally, we didn't believe that.
I believe.
Unbelievable. But anyways,
it almost seemed like he was sleeping while playing accordion sometimes.
Yes.
Especially like the second half of the Dingus Day leg, because that was a tough one. So
yes.
Somehow his fingers and his hands were doing that accordion, but it looked like he was fast asleep on top of it.
He was just an automatic accordion player. But I will never forget, one of the last times he played was at the place on Clinton that they just tore down. And his head, again, whenever he would play and you dance by, his head was like he was sleeping. But that day I danced by and he just gave me a smile and a wink. And that was
one time I went up stage with him.
Oh, yes, she did. Yes, she did. So
that's all I remember.
Yeah.
In my brain.
In your brain. But you loved Papa, right? And Papa loved you.
Another one of his favorite places to sleep was anytime a movie started. He could be on the couch, fall asleep. In a movie theater, fall asleep. Again, I'm just resting my eyes.
Just resting my eyes. He did that a lot. And then, so we started saying to him, if he would have, he'd say, oh, long day, no nap. So that's what we kept saying to him. Hey, Dad, long day, no nap? What's going on?
Yeah. That's going to be the title of his autobiography.
Long days, no naps.
I'm a baby.
Okay, and what else? And then he loved going to his casinos. He loved his gambling at the casinos. And unfortunately, he was always the lucky one. He was the one with all the gifts and the prizes. I would get nothing. He would be the one that got the free room. So now I get nothing. And he was lucky. He was pretty lucky. So I would go and put so much money into the slot machine, and then if I kept losing, he would be at the bar playing poker, so I'd run to the bar and I'd check his pocket for tickets, and if I saw that we were winning, I'd go out and put some more money in. So, but now I got to watch myself. Now I got to be real careful because I have no pocket to check the tickets. So.
It happened.
If you were in the casino and you weren't sure where Dad was, you just had to look for the nearest bar that had a video poker machine, there you would find him.
Yeah. There you go.
I also had a mini slot machine bank that he kind of commandeered at one point. He would just always play it at the table in the kitchen, so anytime you came over, you could probably find him there drinking coffee and playing the little slot machine bank.
And now someone else plays with that slot machine bank.
Yeah, I wonder who. So whenever we went to the casino and we'd go with other people, that was always our meeting place, at the bar. Meeting Mike at the bar. Yeah. And what do you call me, Addie? Jojo. Well, this is funny because when she was a baby and learning how to talk, over and over, Mike kept telling her, that's Jojo, that's Jojo, that's Jojo. Well, one day we're at Tops, and I'm a couple aisles down, and what do I hear? Jojo, Jojo, and the name stuck. Now I'm not Grandma, I am Jojo.
And everybody calls her Jojo. It's not just an Addie thing. So that was Dad made that stick for her. She's Jojo to the world now.
Well, I do not remember that.
You don't remember it?
I just like to call it
that.
Yeah. It spread like wildfire.
It sure did.
Yes, it did. So, what else we got here?
I can't remember.
Oh, the Halloween costumes.
Oh.
We have no idea how Dad let Jojo talk him into some of these Halloween costumes, but Mom and Dad would be in a competition with Aunt Sue and Uncle Ron.
Mhm.
And let's see. One year they were the October Storm, right? And
Yes.
Dad was
A generator.
yes, and Mom was fallen tree branches. Okay.
That was unique.
Janine,
Yes.
this is my hand, right?
Yes.
On the screen,
Uh-huh.
it's a different hand.
Yeah, I noticed that. It is. I don't know.
One year, let's see. Mom dressed up. Well, Dad dressed up as Uncle Ron Gorek, when Mom dressed up as their dog Molson.
I dressed up as a dog. Yes, I
Perfect.
did. Yes, I did.
And then one year, let's see. This was back when we had our dog named Hillary, and Mom dressed up as Bill Clinton,
I'll do that.
and Dad dressed up as Monica Lewinsky,
Yeah.
complete
No,
with all
not-
the props.
No, not Monica. Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin.
Oh,
Yes, I was Sarah
Okay.
Palin.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think that was two different Halloween.
And he was who was with Sarah? I forgot who was with Sarah
I don't remember.
Palin.
John McCain.
John McCain.
Oh,
yes,
and that's
was
what he
John
called his
McCain.
cane, John McCain.
Yes, and that's what he ended
John
up calling his
McCain.
cane.
I'm the
John
queen
McCain,
of rock.
Yes. Addie is Barb, the Queen of Rock.
Yes, but
Oh.
yeah, those were fun times. We used to go to Ron and Sue Gorek's house, and we'd all meet there, and we'd have we'd do Halloween together, and we'd all dress up. Well, not everybody dressed up in costumes, but me and Mike definitely.
Always.
Me and Mike
You
definitely.
can count on
Yeah.
that.
That was lots of fun.
Oh,
So we
sure
had a
was.
lot of fun times. So we just thought, anybody else? Any stories?
There's some
Anybody else?
quick little things for anyone that wanted to know. No, he never had hair. Let's see what else. He missed his high school prom or graduation, one of the two, because he had a dance to play.
Yes.
That's
yes.
some dedication
Yeah,
right there.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, that's dedication.
It's dedication to the
Or he
Polka
just didn't
field.
get a date.
Oh, that's probably
I wasn't
the real
around at the
reason.
time.
I'm hitting myself.
I know you.
Yeah, he was a very patient and driver. He never drove faster than the speed limit. We're not sure he ever got in any accidents, and I guess patient in general.
Yes.
I'm sure he had the best traffic record out of all of us.
Yeah. I have so many pictures just kind of dressing him up, putting crazy hats on him, and he would just let me do it. So.
And he always looked good in his cowboy hat.
Oh, he did.
That was
He looked
his,
so handsome
his
in his
favorite,
cowboy
is the
And
cowboy hat.
Not my dad.
hat. In fact, all those pictures, when it was time for his retirement from the county, we printed a bunch of those pictures out as wallet sizes and handed them out as party favors.
That's right.
So if you
we
ever
did.
run into some of his friends, you might just find, Dad holding a baseball bat and a dog, or Dad in some kind of silly outfit. Who knows? He loves to take pictures of anything.
Janine ran to my dad one day.
His car, yeah, I did that.
His car? Which one's that? Which one's
So there's that.
That's not my
All the
dad.
secrets are being spilled.
Trying to take over the show.
All the secrets are being spilled.
So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are some fun times that we've had with Mike over the years with the Nowakowski family and friends. What fun we've all had from him being with the different bands over the years, and all the fun times we've had going to dances and meeting so many people, and for that we're very thankful for. So there you have it.
Yeah, the memories are really kind of endless.
Yes,
So,
they are.
when we were asked to talk about some of our favorite memories, it's like, where do you start and where do you end?
And where
So,
do you end?
this is just a little taste of, what we have.
I could not see her.
So for me, Craig, Janine, and Addie, we hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
The people
one featuring Mike Nowakowski on the vocal. Back when he was with Sunshine, he had the Sunshine Band, not confused with the other Sunshine Band, KC. Hey, but that's one titled Our Town Polka. Hey, you know, we're going to keep things rolling here with Michael. Here's a real nice tune that we love playing all the time with the Buffalo Touch off of their last recording that Michael was proud to be on. Here's one called Our Young Lady, or Nasha Pani.
Piwnice do piwa, nasza pani jest szczęśliwa. Piwnice do piwa, nasza pani jest szczęśliwa. Nasza pani je pierogi, później rozłoży je no. No życie stalowe, będą chcieli później nowe. No życie stalowe, będą chcieli później nowe. Potem daje chłopcom pi. Piweczka czerwonego z baryłeczki toczonego. Piweczka czerwonego z baryłeczki toczonego. Nasza pani kupi zupę, potem daje chłopcom dół. Dolara zielonego zupę kupiła od niego. Dolara zielonego zupę kupiła od niego.
What a talented guy Michael was. You know, he was an entertainer as well as just more than just an accordion player. I enjoyed, and you guys have heard me say this numerous times, I really enjoyed working with Mike. Not only with the Dynatones when I first went back with them in 1995, but I had a lot of fun hanging out with him and playing accordion with him with the Buffalo Touch. And one of the other songs that he recorded, a song that he wrote, and everybody loves this song. We used to play it all the time on stage. Here's one called I Can't Reach That Far.
But I'm up on the stage and I just can't reach that far. There's a beer with my name on it over at the bar. But I'm up on the stage and I just can't reach that far. And I just can't reach that far. There's a shot with my beer out there over at the bar. But I'm up on the stage and I just can't reach that far. There's a girl with my shot and beer over at the bar. But I'm up on the stage and I just can't reach that far. There's a girl with my shot and beer over at the bar. But I'm up on the stage and I just can't reach that far. and I just wanna cry. Now that girl drank my shot and beer, she's dancing with some guy. I'm still up on the stage, and I just wanna cry.
Reminiscing and remembering some really great polka memories and some really great polka musicians here on Polkas After Dark. A walk through polka heaven is this broadcast, and this is episode number 3. Jerry, why don't you say hello to some of the folks that are in our chat rooms that are very, very patient in sitting by here and waiting for you to say hi to them.
We have some very quiet people in our chat rooms tonight. At least over on our broadcast link. We just have Chris Tansky and Jerry Romanowski over there. And then we have Bobby and Jeannie Kelfert on YouTube with me. And there's a bunch others watching, but they are not signed in. We're going to say hello to Michelle Szymanski.
Hi, Michelle.
And Joanne is with us. Chris Curtis says he likes my shirt because it says that I've been annoying you and you've been annoying me forever.
Yeah.
Steve Brown is with us, Don Kozak, Sue Howard, Tony Biale, Don Ramonzo, Loretta Curtis Macco, Dave Zhenka, Jerry
Polinsky.
I stink at last names, sorry. Another Jerry. Way to go. Alice Fischler, Mark Schwoger, Sue Howard, Donna Zelinsky with Teresa and Sarah. And I think we caught everybody there.
Richie Coyce, Alice Fischler. Did you get a chance to say hi to her?
I did.
Bruce Michaels as well. He is here. Gosh, let's see. We got a lot of Joyce Boris. She is tuned in. Mr. Chris Ebel. And also Erica Belinda McMaster. She just tuned in right now. And, of course, we want to say thank you very much to the Nowakowski family for putting that gracious video on. You guys did a great job. Say hi to Addie, by the way, from Jerry and I. Hey, the next individual that we want to bring up here is the brother of Mike Birdsey, and that is Mr. Larry Birdsey. I had the honor again of playing with some really fantastic musicians, and when I first moved to Buffalo, I got a chance to share the stage with Mike Birdsey with the New York Sound, and also we got a chance to gig just a couple of other places as well, but just a lot of fun. A very talented guy, saxophone player, clarinet player, and trumpet as well. But let's go ahead and catch this and listen a little bit to Larry Birdsey on what he has to say about Brother Mike.
Hi folks, Larry Birdsey here, Mike Birdsey's brother. And I'm here to tell you a few fun facts you guys may not have known about my brother Mike. Mike had a love for his 2 dogs. He loved Toby and Saber, and what made Mike most proud was he accomplished the feat in 3 short days of getting Saber to pray nightly prayers with Mike. Mike loved all Buffalo sporting teams. Mike loved the Boston Red Sox. I bet you guys didn't know Mike was a running back in high school for Bishop Timon. He played baseball for St. Patrick's CYO. Mike was a good baseball player. I don't know about the football, because Mike would come home beat up all the time, but he sure enjoyed football and baseball. Mike, being a great musician, was one of the only few that I knew that can play 2 saxes at one time. And when I seen that, I just was totally amazed and very proud of Mike with that. Mike idolized our cousin Johnny Carish and Boots Randolph. Mike's favorite polka bands were Mikey Costin the Beat and Lenny Glomonka. and Mike had a found love for Sue, his wife. But one of the most important things that I will always cherish is to show you guys and understand what kind of dedication Mike would have for family members. We had taken a road trip out to Cranberry, PA, just on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, to see Mikey Costum and the Beat. And Mike, like I said, Mike enjoyed the music of Mikey Costum, the Beat. So we're all standing around and we're looking for Mike, and it's been about good 35, 40 minutes and nobody can find Mike. So I decided to take a walk around, and I found Mike up in front of the band stage, and he's just bobbing and wheeling and listening to the tunes. And I go, Mike. He goes, not now. I said, Mike, where you been? He goes, right here, listening to the music. What do you think? I said, Mike, we're all worried. We thought maybe you got kidnapped or something. I said, come on back and have a drink. He goes, I will in a little bit. So I had gone back, and we're happy we found Mike. We knew he was safe. So I'm thinking, I got to get Mike away from there. So I came up with a plan. I said, okay. About an hour later, I go up to Mike. Sure enough, he's still there listening to the music, having a good time. And I said, Mike, you got to help me. I said, you got to help me. And he goes, what? I said, Mike, you got to help me. I dropped my cell phone into the Johnny in the Spot. And out there, it was at the Polka music was at Picnic Grove, and they had Johnny on the Spots. And I said, Mike, I dropped it in there. You know I need that phone for work. I said, you being the older brother, you got to help me get it out. And only you could come up with a plan. He said, all right, don't worry, bro. So Mike goes over, he stops everybody from going in, and Mike's asking them, does anybody have any gloves that go beyond their elbows? Does anybody have a shovel? And all these people are looking at him like, what the hell's this guy talking to? What is he talking about? What the hell's wrong with him? Is he crazy? So Mike proceeded to tell him, look at my bro here, my brother, he lost his cell phone. I have to get him that cell phone. He needs that cell phone for work, and I have to get it. So, okay, everybody stopped, and they're trying to get their game plan together. People were kind of not very happy because they all had to use the Johnny on a Spot, but they would divert it, go somewhere else. So I looked at Mike, and I go, Mike, not now. I got to try to figure out how to get it. I said, Mike, it's a joke. It's a joke. And he goes, what? I said, Mike, it's a joke. He goes, I'm going to kill you. And I said, well, Mike, at least we got you away and got your attention to us. And he goes, oh, my God. And he burst out laughing. He said, only you. That was the type of guy, that instance right there, to show you Mike was so dedicated to family, and not only family but friends. If any friend was in a time of need and needed something, Mike was there. Mike would drop everything, and he would help any family member or any friend. That's the type of guy Mike was. And you know, Mike, we love you. We all love you. I love you. And until we meet again, just keep rocking them polkas in polka heaven with all the fine musicians that passed away before us. And you joining them all. I'm sure you guys are rocking heaven with all your talents. Till we meet again, Mike, we all love you. Bye.
Hey, here's a tune that Michael wrote for his beautiful bride. Yes, sirree, for Sue Birdsey, here is one called Polka Queen.
I saw her on the dance floor as she quickly twirled on by, but she didn't even see me or the twinkle in my eye. I watched her every movement like she had me in a trance. I had to try and make her mine before she left the dance. Come dance with me, my polka queen, because I love you so, and I will make you love me too before it's time to go. Come dance with me, my polka queen, the music soon will start, and if you let me dance with you, I'll dance into your heart. As we moved along as one, and by the time the night was through, I knew my heart had won. I'll always have her with me as we polka through our life, because my little polka queen will soon become my wife. Come dance with with me, my polka queen, because I love you so. And I will make you love me too before it's time to go. Come dance with me, my polka queen, the music soon will start. And if you let me dance with you, I'll dance into your heart. Come dance with me, my polka queen, because I love you so. And I will make you love me too before it's time to go. Come dance with me, my polka queen, the music soon will start. And if you let me dance with you, I'll dance into your heart.
An old Marion Lush tune. Here's one called Dark Eyes Polka featuring, yep, you got it, Mike Birdsey on the vocal for you right here with the New York Sound. You're watching a walk through Polka Heaven presented by Polkas After Dark. We thank you so much for joining us tonight.
ładna dziewczyna. Wygląda jak laleczka. Przypatrzcie się, chłopcy, bo to moja żoneczka. Ta, co ma te ciemne łóżka. Hej, hej!
Hey, that's Mike Birdsey on the vocal, also playing the sax and the trumpet, believe it or not, on both on that recording, and that is the New York Sound. Hey, right now, we want to turn the microphone and stage over to Mr. Chaz Wroblewski's son, Robbie.
Hey, I'm Robbie Wroblewski. I'm Bob Wroblewski, or Chaz, Chaz's son, as most people know him. And some of my favorite memories about him are just a lot of little things. Our late nights drive to Elmwood Taco and Subs on Elmwood when they were still open till 4 a.m. Never too late for an Elmwood Taco. He loved music. Whenever he was playing an album he liked, like Soundgarden or Rush or all the music that he loved, he'd go around the block a couple times before he'd drop me off at home just so he could listen to the song with me. And all the late nights we spent watching all the random sci-fi movies. We loved the Alien Predator series. We just loved all the sci-fi movies. It was one of our favorite things to do, was go out to movies. And later in his life, that was one of the best ways we got to see each other. I always got to take him to the movies, and we really enjoyed that. So I really enjoyed a lot of the things I did with my dad and he did for us. Just the little things stick out. I loved the passion that he put into everything he did.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm Robert Robleski's daughter, or like my brother said, or if you haven't seen his video yet, some of you may know him as Chaz. Some of the things that my brother spoke to or will speak to are some of my favorite memories as well. But some of the things that I wanted to share today are music related, and some of them are not. I think one of the biggest memories I have of my dad, which makes sense, is he was an incredibly talented musician. Our music, I remember, just as long as I can remember, as young as I was, as soon as I was ready, started playing trumpet with him, trying to learn music, how to write it, how to sing it, how to play it, and I started taking trumpet lessons from him as soon as I was ready, and he helped me make it through band and battling for first chair in band. I know that was always a dream of mine at that time, and probably of his as well, and I was able to get there with his help, and that was always fun to celebrate, to be the only girl in the trumpet section and first chair in band as well. So that was a fun memory to share with him. And as I got older, being able to play on stage with him, and the song that we wrote together and played together and were even able to record together will probably always be one of my favorite memories with my dad. So I'm very grateful to have that. Outside of music, of course, there are many things. I think, as some of you probably know, he can be incredibly goofy, and it was always awesome to have his sense of humor around, even when times were not always the most funny. He would kind of find a way to make them that way. I think some of the favorite things of mine that I remember are just some of the silly and weird things that he would do. For example, around Halloween, most of the time he would have this kind of monster mask that he would just put on. Sometimes he would put it on in the car and drive around with it and stop at a red light or a stop sign and just stare at whoever was next to us in the car, and of course embarrass us or me and my friends, whoever were in the car, make himself laugh as well. I know sometimes he would come pick my brother and I, or one of us, up at my mom's house, and instead of waiting outside or ringing the doorbell, he would walk in and stand in the front hallway and stick his head in the window or the kitchen with a monster mask on. It always used to make us laugh as well. So just his sense of humor, his just unique personality, his unique style that had changed so many times over the years. I know recently, when I was looking through pictures and going back, there was Bob or Chaz with long hair, with a ponytail. Sometimes he, was wearing a muscle shirt and had been working out a lot. Other times he was wearing, a suit and tie or a band shirt, and just kind of his ever-changing personality and styles. And, it was always fun to be able to see that, and definitely funny to look back through pictures and everything like that. So some of the favorite things I have, are, I wish I could share all of them. I think every time I look through a photo book and I see another picture with another story, but I do, just really appreciate the sense of humor I got from him. I was able to share with him or to observe with him, and of course the love for music and the ability to be able to do what I did when I was younger with the trumpet. I think the other thing too was his love for animals, and that's something that definitely sticks with me today. We grew up with a bird named Buddy. Some of you may know him or have heard of him, and he was, hand raised and fed by my dad. So my dad was, like Buddy's just parent completely, and he was not the type of bird that sat in a cage. He would eat breakfast with us, sit at the table, sit on your shoulder, sit on your head. So we were just raised with Buddy, and every once in a while he would come home with a new pet, a hamster, a hedgehog, hermit crabs, just all sorts of different things. So that was one of the best parts of growing up as well, when he was in our house as a kid. So that was awesome. And today, I think that everyone who knows me knows how much I love animals, how much I love dogs. He definitely actually inspired me to foster dogs, and I can share with you one of the things today that he loved, and that was the fact that I did foster dogs, and these are some of the dogs that I was able to foster. So I was really happy for my dad to be able to meet some of these dogs and share these stories. So yeah, those are some of my favorite memories, and of course we all miss him and wish he was here, but I'm really grateful to be able to have these memories and share them with everybody.
And this is the song that Rachel wrote all by herself with Dad, and also got a chance to play trumpet on the recording with Jan Simon. Chazzy with the Dynatones. Here's one called Down at the Friendly Tavern.
Music is playing, dancers are swaying, happiness in the air. Down at the Friendly Tavern, everyone's happy there. Lights are all twinkling, glasses are tinkling, romance is in the air. Down at the Friendly Tavern, nothing else can compare. There's where we'll find the cheer, meet the friends we hold so dear. Round up the polka band and sing a song together. Time to get started, gay and lighthearted, no need to ask us where. Down at the Friendly Tavern, everyone's happy there. Dancers are swaying, happiness in the air. Down at the Friendly Tavern, everyone's happy there. Lights are all twinkling, glasses are tinkling, romance is in the air. Down at the Friendly Tavern, nothing else can compare. There's where we'll find the cheer, meet the friends we hold so dear. Round up the polka band and sing a song together. Time to get started, gay and lighthearted, no need to ask us where. Down at the Friendly Tavern, everyone's happy there.
Hey guys, it's Steve Brown over from Buffalo, New York. Just want to say hello. Want to thank Robin and Jerry for this great idea of recognizing some of our fallen polka heroes. I want to thank Robin and Jerry for giving me the chance to talk about Robert Wroblewski and for just their continued support of polka music. Since Bobby had left us back in March, it's been a tough time. But I want to thank Robin and Jerry for their dedications, for their show, their tribute to Bobby Wroblewski. I can't tell you how much that meant to our family. We've watched it a million times. We've shed a million tears. As a matter of fact, I want to thank everybody out there who's been so supportive, who all your messages, all your thoughts, your prayers, your cards, your blessings, or everybody who's been there for us. My mom, Adeline Wroblewski, can't thank you so much. It's really been an honor to be a part of Bobby Robleski's life. And I'm just proud that he affected a lot of people's lives as much as he, affected ours as well. I think when Robin asked me to do a little bit about Bobby, and there's a lot of things I wish I could tell you guys. There's some things we're going to keep to ourselves. A lot of you musicians, you've known him over the years. You probably have some funny stories too. There's some things I can't share. There's some things we just hold close to our hearts. But Bobby was big about family. And I think it's fitting that we're on a polka show and we always talk about polka family. And Bobby was about that. Just want to start there first. From the fellow musicians he's played with, fellow musicians on the road, I can't tell you how much Bobby beamed when he was around some of you guys. And you brought up to him about, hearing him on an old Dynatones album or a G-Notes album or one of those albums. When some of your trumpet players especially would come up to him when he was sick at the end as well, too, when we went to Springs and that, how that just really lifted his spirits and cheered him up. I can't thank you enough for that. He always appreciated the talents that you gentlemen had, ladies and gentlemen, the fans. He couldn't tell you enough about stories he would tell me about being on the road and meeting somebody and this one and that one. You really did touch his heart, and it meant a lot to him. And he did tell me those stories many nights. And those are the stories I'm going to hold really deep and dear to my heart. Biggest thing about Bobby, again, is the family, with the Polka family. But Bobby, when he first came into our family, we were older, and usually that's a little tougher with that. But Bobby made sure he became part of our family. He was interested in my sister, me, nieces, nephews, grandkids, the whole 9 yards, but made sure he included Robbie and Rachel, his daughter and his son. And it was great to hear. He was so proud of his kids and so proud of everybody to be a part of a big family. And I think that's the big key about Bobby. It was always about family. One thing I always liked about Bobby is he tried to always become part of. He's interested in what you're interested in. And that's what I'm going to always hold really dear. Time when I told Bobby back in the day, I'm like, Bobby, I'm interested in this English Premier League club. He's like, you're watching soccer? I'm like, yeah, I'm watching soccer. Like, do you want to join with us? I don't know. I go, Bob, we're going to go to a bar at 7:30 in the morning on a Saturday and watch the game. He's like, I'm in. And sure enough, Bobby became friends with all of the group of the guys, and he supported the Buffalo Gooners Club. And Bobby was in it. And he would wear his Gooner stuff and wear his Arsenal stuff and be with the guys and chanting and cheering. He always wanted to become part of our family and something that we liked, and he wanted to be just part of that whole group. So when it got to a point that we're at Anchor Inn Social Club, and a lot of you polka people know Anchor Inn used to be on William Street. We'd have polka parties there a lot of times. I go, Bob, there's a club, a bunch of guys get together. It's a social club. Pretty much we try to figure out ways how we could drink more. We sell raffle tickets so we can do parties and things like that. I go, Bob, would you want to join? He's like, yeah, I'm going to join. So sure enough, he's going to join. Now, when you join the group, you become what they call the striker. Now, the striker is usually something the guys don't want to be, because what that means is you're the low man on the totem pole. So at every party, if I told him, Bobby, he's my stepdad, and I tell him, Bob, go get me a beer. Bob, go do this. Bob would have to follow that rule. And guys hated that. Not Bobby, though. Bobby wanted to be a part of the group. So on the day of that he got sworn in, Bobby raises his right hand, loves his club, talks about it. Now everybody starts yelling, oh, new striker. But Bobby had a little trick up his sleeve. Bobby ripped open his shirt because he had my mom make him a shirt that said striker across of it. And he started yelling, I'm the new striker, and was loving it. And really got along and was just right in with the club right from the first day. And that meant a lot to me. Things like that Bobby would do that a lot of people didn't get to see. He was always the loving, fun guy, but he cared about everybody, and he wanted to make sure he did things that kind of just got along and made everybody happy. And those are the things I'm going to really miss and love about him, is that he just wanted to be there for him. So even at the very end, when things were kind of rough, but Bobby was still around, and he hated using the walker, hated to show that he was kind of weaker at the time. But the whole club said, no, you're coming out with us. So we took him out to Niagara Falls, which are a big weekend. And at the time, Bobby was in a lot of pain, had some issues. Well, a couple people in the club said, we've got something that could probably take care of that pain. Now it's kind of legal in New York State, so we're not saying that he did anything illegal, but we said, okay. So one of our club members said, we're going to take him out. We took him out in a wheelchair, and we said, your one rule is don't drop Bob. So we were laughing about that. Half hour goes by, 45 minutes come by. Bobby comes back in the club with a couple members, and they've got the biggest grin on their face. I hadn't seen Bobby that happy in that long. Laughing kind of like a little kid. You know when a little kid's up to something and you're not sure what really happened, but you know it's no good? Bobby was beaming and couldn't wait. We're like, Bob, what's up? He's like, they dropped me. They dropped me. So kind of hit a little curb, kind of fell, but was in no pain at the time. Stop, drop, and roll. Bobby was good. But the whole time after that, everybody joked around it. Don't drop Bob, and can't believe you dropped Bob. One of the funniest things I've ever seen, the happiest smile I've seen in his face. I can't tell you how much fun that is, and that's why I'm wearing the shirt right now. We now changed from Anchor to Noach Social Club, but the guys loved him, and right up to the very end, he was there as a family with a group of guys, and we're going to miss that, and our club still misses that all the time, and there's not a dance that we don't go to that we don't think about Bob or do shots or something for him. So try to keep this a little short, but I want to just raise a glass to all fallen guys and girls that have left us. But we're going to do this one for Bob Robleski. We miss you. Love you, buddy.
Hey, wait till you guys catch just a little bit of the horn section on this.
So they say it's but a game and they let it slip away. Love, like the autumn sun, should be dying, but it's only just begun.
Like the twilight in the road up ahead, they don't see just where they're going. All the secrets in the universe whisper in our ears. All the years come and go, take us always on. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again.
Dreams, so they say, are for the fools and they let them drift away. Peace, like the silent dove, should be dying, but it's only just begun.
Like Columbus in the olden days, we must gather all our courage, sail our ships out of the open sea, cast away our fears. All the years come and go, take us up, always up. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. So I wanna laugh while the laughter is easy. I wanna cry if it makes it worthwhile. I may never pass this way again. That's why I want it with you. Because you make me feel like I'm more than a friend. Like I'm the journey and you're the journey's end. I may never pass this way again. That's why I want it with you.
Take it, Chaz.
Hey guys, it's Steve Brown over from Buffalo, New York. Just want to say hello.
We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. We may
a musician. He got all those parts, valve bone, trumpet, soprano, trumpet, and just made that thing sound, one of his favorite bands. Well, he had a lot of favorite bands, but Chicago was one, the band Chicago. He also liked Tower of Power, any bands that had, huge horns in it. And when he sat down and said, hey guys, I want to do something a little crazy in here, he talked with Matt Lewandowski, who was the engineer of the project, and he says, I want to try to do this. And Matt says, yeah, let's see what it's going to sound like. And as you guys heard, that's exactly what it sounded like. Hey, we want to welcome you guys once again to a walk through Polka Heaven, brought to you through the courtesy of Polkas After Dark. We've got a lot of folks here. We do thank you so much for stopping by on a Saturday evening. We are doing this every Saturday in the month of October. We've got 2 more shows that we are going to be doing, and that, of course, is next Saturday, and, of course, the Saturday after is the finale. We've got a lot of great videos yet, folks that we haven't even had a chance to talk to yet. Mr. Larry Trojak is going to start us out next week, Saturday. He did a real nice video talking about Scrubby, a.k.a. David Severiniak, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun as well. We've got just some great, fantastic people that are going to be doing some really fantastic stuff. Hey, and speaking of fantastic stuff, you guys heard at the very beginning, Mike Nowakowski's family, Joanne, Janine, Craig, and Addie, they were talking a little bit about Michael, but every once in a while they brought in Uncle Ron. Well, Uncle Ron was Uncle Ronnie Gavarek, and here is Becky, his daughter, to tell you a little bit about Ron.
Hi, my name is Becky Gork, and this is my dad, Ron Gork, aka Ronnie G. For those of you who knew my dad, you knew he was always up for a good time, loved playing pranks on people, and every Sunday could be found in our garage blaring polka music until it was time to cheer on the Bills. My dad was born and raised in Buffalo after his parents immigrated here from Poland, and growing up, he played the trumpet in a polka band. Some might find this hard to believe, but he was actually an altar boy too. My dad had an English degree from Canisius, which I always found to be ironic because his favorite words were all swear words, in particular one that rhymes with luck. And I guess some people would probably say that's where I get it from as well. After college, my dad was a corrections officer and he worked at Sing Sing in Attica before being injured on the job and having to retire. Although retirement wasn't something my dad initially was expecting or was enjoying, it allowed him to spend more time with my brother and I, as he was always there when we got off the bus from school and could run us late or lost homework and gym clothes if we forgot something. One of my traumatizing yet hilarious memories growing up is when my dad would drive my brother, myself, and our neighbors either to or from school. He would roll all the windows down on our giant van and turn the polka music up as loud as it would go, so that we either knew he was there to pick us up or everybody knew we were coming and going. And it's something that my friends and neighbors still talk about to this day. It was one of the things that stood out the most after my dad passed away was the number of neighbors that came by to say that they were going to miss the polka music coming out of our garage every weekend. One of the other memories I have growing up is working at what my cousins and I referred to as the Polka sweatshop with my dad and my Uncle Mike. The Polka sweatshop was my cousin's grandma's basement where we would work assembly line style stuffing and packaging CDs for the Buffalo Touch. And myself and my cousins are actually Sunshine Kids growing up, and we were on one of the Christmas albums with the Touch. And after the CDs were packaged, my dad and my Uncle Mike would drive them and drop them off to the Broadway Market, to Vidler's, and other stores around Buffalo until I became old enough to drive. Then I got to drop them off myself with my dad, which was always a really fun errand to run and took 5 times longer than it should have because my dad knew everybody, so he would stop and talk and hang out. And even if you've never talked to my dad, I'm sure you've seen him if you've ever watched the Buffalo Touch play. He was always the one manning the CD table and the merchandise, while my uncle played the accordion with the band. They were like 2 peas in a pod together. And although My family and I still go to polka dances all the time and have a blast. It's certainly not the same without my dad and my Uncle Mike there. We miss them and the good times that we used to have with them. So the next time that you guys pop a CD in or you hear a song on the radio, I hope you think of my dad and my Uncle Mike and all the blood, sweat, and tears that my cousins and I put into packaging that CD. And if my dad were here, I know this is how he would end this video. So I just want to say thank you for watching. Na zdrowie and go Bells.
And that was Becky. Becky, we thank you so much for doing that. Hey, we were able to scrounge up a couple of songs here featuring the Buffalo Tones. And here is Ronnie on the accordion, one called Bouncing Ball Obetic. Here's an oldie but a goodie, a little bit of green grass polka, Zielona Traweczka. Once again, here's the sound of Ronnie Gavorek on the accordion and one by the Buffalo Tones featuring Mr. Ricky Pianowski on the vocal.
W moim ogródeczku piszę do Jasienka, żeby do mnie wrócił. Zielona traweczka, a miesiąc na niebie. Jasiu, o Jasienku, tak smutno bez ciebie.
Mr. Ron Gavorek on the accordion. There you see a nice picture of the Buffalo Tones Band. That was Ricky Pianowski and a whole host of entertainers there, as you can see. Hey, it's funny because Dave Jenka says you got to tell the story about how you met Ron Gavorek. And oddly enough, the way I met Ronnie, I was introduced to Ronnie by Scrubby and Nigel with the Dynatones, because when I first moved to Buffalo, New York, I rented what they call a flat or a front apartment off of Ronnie Gavorek's mom and dad. And it was over at 99 Lombard. I'll never forget it. As a matter of fact, the building is not there any longer. But just some great people. I moved in January 1st of 1983. Yes, it was in a snowstorm. It wasn't a blizzard. That was 85, just 2 years later. But it was just so nice to meet the family. And Ronnie treated me like family, like a brother. Took me out, showed me a couple of different places when I got into town. And just some great people, Mike Novikowski, Ronnie Gavorek, and a whole host of folks that are no longer with us. Hey folks, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark, our broadcast link
with a C
.com, also on
YouTube
and
Facebook.
Yeah, and you guys are making it a lot of fun here tonight with remembering a lot of our friends, our musicians. And Gail Wojtowicz out in Lancaster, New York, has been a lifelong friend. Her mom and dad were very, very good friends of myself, and also, of Big Steve and the Bel Airs. They used to go to the TV show tapings out at the Depew Polish Falcons way back in the days in the 1980s. And here's a little bit of Gail to tell you a little bit about Mom, Lorraine Wojtowicz.
Mama was a great mother, wife, and daughter. She took good care of her elderly parents, especially seeing she was an only child. She always helped them with household chores and yard work. Growing up, she even had a duck named Skippy. She always cleaned the driveway in the wintertime and mowed the lawn in the summer and vacuumed our pool, even though she hardly ever went in it. The pool belonged to Dad and I, and we would challenge each other to do at least 50 laps per day. Mama was always happy to greet me at the door each day when I came home. She always wanted to hear how my day went. She always made sure Dad and I were fed well. She always had dinner waiting for him when he worked late. She always made meals ahead of time if she was not going to be home for dinner. When her and I went to California for 10 days and Cancun for a week, she made enough meals for Dad to warm up the entire time we were gone. Even though she didn't drive, she always managed to get a ride to my band concerts, musicals, parades, and my induction in the society. She was always thinking of Dad and I and put herself last. I vividly remember the last time she ever shopped at Wayfair. She bought me red velvet cake because she knew how much I love it. When she found out she had breast cancer, she waited to tell Dad and I until after our trip to Las Vegas so we could enjoy ourselves. While she had colon cancer surgery at Roswell, Dad was sick in General Hospital. Mama made sure she recovered real fast so she could take care of Dad when he came home. The week before the final time she got sick, both our cardiologist and pulmonologist said she was doing great. A few days later, her and I went to Toronto and I saw Depeche Mode in concert. She was acting quiet and didn't eat much during the trip. I kept asking her if she was all right, and she kept saying yes. I took her to urgent care as soon as we came home, and they said she was fine. A few hours later, she was gasping for air and hemorrhaging internally. She had double pneumonia. Here she was sick, but refused to tell me because she did not want to spoil our trip to Toronto. She won the spelling bee in grade school and made a lot of wonderful items with her friends at the Bowmansville Home Bureau. She never liked to fight with people and was very optimistic and never panicked during emergencies. She was the only one in the family who was mechanically inclined. She was extremely tough and quite the fighter. Our chiropractor, Bob, always said, "Lorraine, if the Bills were as tough as you, they would win every game all season plus the Super Bowl." Simply put, she was the best mother anyone could ever ask for. Both of my parents taught me discipline and how to be a good person and gave me valuable information just about life in general. I miss both of them dearly every single day of my life, and I'm very thankful and honored to have had them as my parents. And I want to thank Robin and Jerry for asking me to make these videos to honor my parents. Jean Kuya.
And Gail's parents, Henry, she talked about Dad, 2 weeks ago?
Show number 1.
Yep, Henry Wojtowicz, and what an amazing character that guy was. He supported all the local polka bands as well as any chance that he would get to travel. Ricky and I, Pinowski, talk about him all the time when he used to love to go to Conneaut Park in Pennsylvania when Big Steve played, as a matter of fact. And we've got a Big Steve song right now because both of the Wojtowiczes, the whole family, enjoyed Big Steve and the Bel Airs. And here's one off of one of his early recordings. Here's one called the Pia Kuba Polka.
Twoja Kuba, Jakub do Michała. Wiwa ty, kompania cała. A kto nie wypije, tego we 2 kije. Rupu cukru, pod kozuchu, niech po polsku żyje. A kto nie wypije, tego we 2 kije. Rupu cukru, pod kozuchu, niech po polsku żyje. Koroneczki, perełeczki miała pani sama. Dziś szynkarka lub kucharka chodzi jakby dama. Kto na wstęp żyje, tego we 2 kije. Upu, cupu, niech po polsku żyje. Kto na wstęp żyje, tego we 2 kije. Upu, cupu, niech po polsku żyje.
It's the sound of Big Steve and the Bel Airs, going way, way back to one of his earlier recordings. And we played that song especially for Henry and Lorraine, or Hank and Lori Vojtovich, as we used to refer to them. And folks, if you're just joining us, well, welcome to Polkas After Dark, a very special presentation. This is episode number 3, as we are going to be doing 5 of these bad boys. That's right. We've got 2 more Saturdays that we're going to be doing, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're glad you decided to join us. We're going to say hello to a couple of folks here. Amanda Butzek is here. It also looks like, Missy McKee, she is here. Hello to Missy. Dingus Day Val Bukowski, thank you so much for joining us here at Polkas After Dark. Becky Lynn said hello, and thanks so much for remembering her dad. Well, thank you very much for putting a video together. And we're also going to say hello to Joanne Novikowski once again. Looks like George Szymanski is here. Russ Mancy, he is here. Bobby Szymanski, holy smokes. Beverly Nibel is here this evening. Also Vince and Marie Sosnowski. Oh gosh, we have just a ton of people here. Mr. Steve Brown, Karen and Tom Bayak. We thank you so much. You guys are very faithful supporters here of Polkas After Dark, as we're doing a very special walk through Polka Heaven. And let's see here. We have a whole bunch of things just going on. I see Mr. Ricky Pianowski's trying to get a hold of us. He must not know that we're on live. Hey, Rick, hang up, because we're not going to talk to you just yet. Also, Sue Howard, it looks like she's here. Darlene Kroll. Dave Janka, of course. Justina Darlak. I don't know if she is still here or not. But let's see here what we've got going on. Hey, Jared, why don't you say hello to some of the folks in our chat rooms over at YouTube?
I can do that. But first, I just really want to thank everybody that sent in videos to support this, because as I was trying to do mine, I realized how hard it was. And you guys have made it look so easy. So with Larry's anniversary and everything, I didn't get to do mine. And I thought that because I'm going to be mentioning a little bit about Jan, that we should wait on Sue's so that we can kind of segue into it, because Sue also played with Larry along the way, and she does mention him in her interview. And it's touching,
with Jan
and
Simon.
it's heartbreaking. And it's a story.
And it's funny.
I mean, I have been through so many emotions in the last few days, just trying to record it, that I was like, I can't. And Steve, you made me cry remembering Chazzy, because again, Larry played with Chaz, and we were all just so close knit.
And as a matter of fact, Mr. Steve Brown is working diligently on doing another video remembering Larry, because Larry and him used to get into a lot of trouble.
They were a lot of trouble together.
Hey, folks, again, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much. A walk through Polka Heaven. Like I said, this is episode 3. Jerry and I have 2 more Saturdays to go, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, if you're just joining us. You know, we also want to preface this next individual. This gal, we had a chance to meet, unfortunately, after this guy had passed. And we're going to be talking about Matty Kushner. And he was just a phenomenal individual. We met Matty through WXRL's Polka Jamboree show. And it was really nice to get a chance to call him on Sunday afternoons. We'd always call him, and he'd say, hey, I'm busy. Hang on 1 second, and he'd put us on hold, and he'd talk, and then he'd play a song or 2 songs, because he'd talk to Jerry and I while we were driving to an event, to a dance somewhere or whatever. And just always a pleasure, an extreme pleasure, to talk to this guy. And what we're going to do is we are going to bring up a couple of cuts here of Matty K's mom, Karen K. And here is number 1, that she is going to be telling you some stuff about Matty K that you guys, even we, didn't know.
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen, Matty K's mom, and just wanted to share some things about Matt that you may not have known about. Sports was obviously an important part of his life, but he played a lot of sports, and even from elementary school, through his adulthood, he played soccer, baseball, basketball, cross country. And did you know that he made this incredible half-court shot during a church basketball game? He made a half-court shot in the remaining seconds of the game to actually win the game for his team, and he was so proud of that. He also completed the extensive Red Cross swim program, which was pretty extensive, and this is after being incredibly fearful of the water as a young kid. So he was determined that he was going to be able to get through this program, and he did. And did you know that he also learned lawn bowling, tennis, canoeing, and shuffleboard in Chautauqua when we'd go there on vacation? And also, did you know that Matthew had a mind like a steel trap? Maybe you did. He was incredibly good at details and remembering so many things. He was skilled at baseball trivia. He and his friend Dave won a trivia contest at a Buffalo Bison game. And he also came in third place with his siblings at a trivia contest for TV programs. I'm not sure if it was just one or multiple programs, but they came in third place for that. And I actually called him the Finder, because even as a 4-year-old, he could locate things in the house after we thought they were long gone. Also, Matt actually had a lateral lisp as a young elementary school kid. It's ironic that he became an on-air radio personality starting even back at Medaille, considering he had this lisp. He had a great voice, and he competed in Star Search at Medaille College, or Medaille University now, and it was like an American Idol type of competition. He also had a flair for the dramatic, which landed him in 2 high school musicals. One was South Pacific, and the other was Annie Get Your Gun. And he was actually Charlie Brown in the Medaille production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Finally, Matt was a giver and a helper. He was generous to a fault with his time and his limited resources. He had applied once for the Big Brother, Big Sister program, which he was not able to participate in as a college kid. And he also started to learn American Sign Language so he could continue dating a girl who was partially deaf. He was always going out of his way to make things easier for people and to learn more about people. But most of all, the thing that I love about Matt, and that I think most people probably don't know about him, was his love for the Lord. He had a heart for his Heavenly Father, and also he had a personal relationship with Jesus Christ that was probably the most important thing in his life. So those are just some things that you may not have known about Matt.
And what a great, great time that we had watching that portion. Thank you so much, Karen. That's Karen Kay, the mom of Maddie Kay. You know, we lost Maddie, back June 10th of 2020.
Yes.
During COVID, but he didn't pass from COVID. It was something else. We want to definitely make that known and clear. You know, she mentioned that Maddie had a love for baseball, and Mr. Jimmy Sturr does a great song. It's called The Greatest Day in Baseball. Here's Mr. Johnny Karras to tell you all about it.
The greatest day in baseball was the day I went to see the Polish All-Stars play the greatest game in history. The stands were filled with USA. It was the greatest day when the Polish All-Stars played. As I walked into the stadium, much to my delight, there was Bobby Vinton, all dressed in red and white. He was about to sing for all of us to hear the Star-Spangled Banner. We all stood up and cheered. Around the stadium, much to my surprise, sitting next to me were a bunch of super guys. There sat some famous people, we all knew who they were. I overheard them say, I think that's Jimmy Sturr. As I sat there next to them, I heard the announcer say, the lineup for the game, they were ready now to play. He started with the All-Stars with excitement in his voice. The fans were on their feet, they were ready to rejoice.
Hi, baseball fans. This is John Gordon, the voice of the Minnesota Twins. The lineup for the Polish All-Stars. First base, Ted Kluszewski. Second base, Bill Mazeroski. Shortstop, Tony Kubek. Third base, Whitey Karowski. Catcher, Stan Lapata. Outfielders, Karl Yastrzemski, Stan Musial, and Greg Blazinski. In the dugout, Moose Skowron, Andy Pafko, Walt Dropel, Ron Swoboda, Gene Hermansky, and Tom Paciorek. In the bullpen, Joe Niekro, Eddie Lopat, Ron Peranowski, Ray Narleski, Ray Sadecki. Coaching first base, Roy Matika. Coaching third base, Dick Trzaskowski. And on the mound for the Polish All-Stars, knuckleballer Phil Niekro.
The greatest day in baseball was the day I went to see the Polish All-Stars play the greatest game in history. The stands were filled with Polka fans from across the USA. It was the greatest day when the Polish All-Stars played.
This was one of Maddie K's favorite tunes to play by the News. Here's one called Heels in the Hallway. Maddie, we miss you, we love you, and until we meet again.
Sure what had changed her mind. Someone told me love was blind, but I had to find out on my own. Sowed her oats, was wild and free. It's been a year since she left me. It's for the best, I would agree. And what she did I can't forget. And one day I'm sure she'll regret. She left her heels in the hallway and a lump outside my door, taking all the things we used to share. And now I don't know where she's going, but she's been there before. Won't hear heels in the hallway anymore. She left her heels in the hallway and I'm up outside my door, taking all the things we used to share. And now I don't know where she's going, but she's been there before. Won't hear heels in the hallway anymore. She left her heels in the hallway and I'm up outside my door, taking all the things we used to share. Now she'll find another hallway just like she did before. Won't hear heels in the hallway anymore. Won't hear heels in the hallway anymore.
And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't play this guy. This was another favorite of Maddie K's. Here's John Gura.
Szalała, szalała, rybeczka za wodą, ale ja nie będę dziewczyno za tobą. Widzisz ty dziewczyno, ten kamień nad wodą, jak kamień popłynie, ożenię się z tobą. Kamień pływał, jakaś ty mnie nie chciał, po coś u mnie bywał. Bywałem, ale to niewiele. Ty zaraz myślałaś, że będzie wesele.
Love those endings. Hey, you know, speaking of John Gura and our Canadian family, you know that they celebrated their Canadian Thanksgiving on Monday.
Yep.
And we did that little ditty, and everybody liked it. A lot of people called us. Alice Fischler had called us and said, "Oh, what a great idea!" And you know, Les Kapuscinski had sent a email around to me, and he said, you know, Mr. Ed Gutza has a lot of friends that he has lost, musicians, fellow musicians. So we reached out to Ed Gutza, and Ed is going to remember a whole host of musicians that he had performed with, or that had performed with him, maybe I should say. And he's going to do a very, very nice video coming up in the next couple of weeks. But Jerry, once again, who do we have that is that has set some videos? Yeah. Let's see. We've got Karen Hootie. We have
our whole Chicago group.
Yep. Mike Stupinski, Diane Belanda. Who else do we have there? Linda March. She's out of Ohio. That's close to Chicago. Who else do we have?
We have Jenny and Carolyn. Did we do them yet?
No, we haven't done them yet, and they are going to be coming up in the next episode. I think we're saving them for the no, Carolyn and Jenny.
No, I meant that, you know, like we have a Chicago group.
Yes, and
that we're working on.
But the one where there's a lot of stuff with Scrubby.
Yes.
Which is kind of nice, and that's going to be coming up, like I said, with Mr. Trojak, Al Pietkowski, and a few more people that are going to be talking about
Yeah, Paul Romanowski that sent us a bunch of stuff.
That's right, with, Paul Fidala that used to play with PCM. He also played with Paul many, many years ago, Paul Romanowski. Who else do you have?
Pat Buchek?
Pat Buchek is going to be sending something in, which is really nice. That's kind of like a little surprise that we want to make mention.
Kenny Mahalski.
Kenny Mahalski is going to be sending some things in. You know, talking with Kenny, he said it's a little tough. So he knew exactly what you were talking about, Jerry, whenever you had mentioned that. But folks, once again, we thank you so much for tuning us in on these past Saturdays. They've been a little early, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week is going to be the same thing next Saturday. And then the following Saturday is our last 7 to 9 p.m., a walk through Polka Heaven. And then we go back to our 9 p.m. to 11 Eastern Time right here for Polkas After Dark. And Jerry, why don't you give just a quick rundown once again of our folks in the chat rooms over at YouTube, our broadcast, and also include Facebook. Why don't you?
We have Amanda Buchek, who is watching us from sunny Florida. I don't think it's sunny anymore, but I'm sure it was when she started watching us.
Shouldn't be right now. Well, it might be. Let's see. It's only 8:40.
We have Bobby and Jeannie Calvert with us, Chris Tansky and Jerry Romanowski, Steve Brown with Adeline. They're hanging out with us. Michelle Samansky, George Samansky. I'm trying to scroll up. I'm sorry.
Sure
Sue
Rosemary
Howard,
is in there somewhere.
Susie Cusey, Belle. Bukowski, Becky Lynn, Joanne Nowakowski.
Mr. Mark Cohen is joining us. Well, thank you for popping in here, Mr. Cohen. And once again, you know, we've got a whole bunch of things that are coming your way within the next 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, we probably have enough video to do a couple of shows in November. So I think what we're going to do is just kind of scrunch all the videos in within the next 2 weeks. Because
maybe
folks,
play a little less music.
Yeah.
Right now we've been trying to balance it out. But
yeah. Hey, Richie Coyce is going to be talking about Eddie Sr. Let's see, who else do we have? Mike Stupinski, reminiscing about Marion Lush when he was with the White Eagles way back when. Let's see. Hey, you know, and there's another guy that we want to remember with the Dynatones, but we're going to bring him in right now, and that was Mr. Jimmy Johnson. And our good friend Dave Janka is going to talk about Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy J.J. Johnson, as everybody knew him. But again, we thank you guys so much. We're going to play a couple more songs here by the Dynatones, which Jimmy was part of. But right now, here is Mr. Janka.
Hey, fellow listeners. Just want to talk about my old friend Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy was a kind-hearted man. Great sense of humor. Give the shirt off and back. I could tell some funny stories about Jimmy. Between his hand gestures, taking his left hand off the arm of his guitar, singing along with Scrubby. The one crazy night in Toledo, when he found the piano heading into the pool. Some of our crazy escapades. The goofy time that he had Annie Burka come pick him up because the snowblower ran out of gas. And he filled the gas tank up, spilled it all over himself and the car. He ended up having to pay for reconditioning for her whole entire vehicle. Miss my little buddy. And there's a couple of gals in Illinois who we may have corrupted at one point in time. I don't know if it's good or bad. Just want to say we miss our little buddy. Thanks for all the memories, man.
Yeah, and
Love
boy, you are right, Mr. Janka. Talk about the memories that Jimmy Johnson has left behind. They are extremely, extremely memorable, crazy things that he did, both locally and on the road. Here's a couple of tunes featuring Jimmy J.J. Johnson on the bass guitar. Here's a little bit of Scrubby and the Dynatones, one called Blondie Polka.
płakać, powiedz ci. Nikt sobie kłoka brunetki. Jak se wyrazy, słuchajcie, oddałem serce blondynce. Blondynka piękna od słońca, blondynka płakać bez końca. Dziewra stała na łońce, serce oddałem blondynce. Blondynka ściska, całuje, kochałem mnie, żałuje. O nie, nie, doprawdzi mnie, serce oddałem blondynce. Blondynka chłopca nie rzuci, jeszcze to kochać nie uczy. Ja ścisnę me serce mięse, serce oddałem blondynce.
That's a little bit of Jimmy Johnson on the bass guitar, recording Blondie, and that's the Dynatone Scrubby on the vocal. You guys know that we usually don't play a lot of live stuff, but this was my last job with the Dynatones, and me and Jimmy had a lot of fun reminiscing about a lot of stuff and playing this particular song. Here is one called I'm Troubled in My Mind. Here's Chapach on the vocal. And that, of course, was Jimmy saying, "Hit it, Carl."
A meeting is pleasure and parting is grief, but a cold-hearted lover is worse than a thief. 'Cause a thief then can rob you and take what you say, but a cold-hearted lover will take you to your day. I'm troubled, I'm troubled, I'm troubled in my mind. A cold-hearted woman is worst of the kind. If trouble don't kill me, I'll live a long time. I'm troubled, I'm troubled, I'm troubled in my mind.
Mind.
You know, that was
Off
actually
our latest CD.
That was actually pretty fun. Let's go ahead and do another live one off of that same recording that was never released. Here's Chepach once again, Till the End of the World Rolls Around. Here's Jimmy Johnson on bass.
Till the end of the world rolls round, I'll keep on loving you. As long as the sun goes up and comes down, and the big blue sky comes down to the ground. As long as the world goes round and around, I'll keep on loving you. I tried to sail the sea of life, I sailed my boat alone. Your love meant nothing to me, dear, my heart was made of stone. In a harbor full of loneliness, my empty boat was moored. But the day that I met you, I fell right overboard. Till the end of the world rolls round, I'll keep on loving you. As long as the sun goes up and comes down, and the big blue sky comes down to the ground. As long as the world goes round and around, I'll keep on loving you. Whenever you're around me, dear, my heart just won't be still. When it comes to kissing you, I'll never get my fill. They say I never settle down, that I would always roam, and that I could never be the type for a loving wife and home. Till the end of the world rolls round, I'll keep on loving you. As long as the sun goes up and comes down, and the big blue sky comes down to the ground. As long as the world goes round and around, I'll keep on loving you. So now I know the way I felt was only selfish pride. I thought my heart was fireproof, but you burned your way inside. So tell me what I've got to do, and tell me how it stands. The cards are on the table, dear, my life is in your hand. Till the end of the world rolls round, I'll keep on loving you. As long as the sun goes up and comes down, and the big blue sky comes down to the ground. As long as the world goes round and around, I'll keep on loving you.
Yes, sirree, that's one called Till the End of the World Rolls Around. Dave Jenka said, hey, is that Tommy Wonderlick recording? It sure is, and he remastered that and sent it out to all the guys in the band. We all have it. Hey, we also want to make mention of a gal who just logged in, Kathleen Vishneski Graves, and she is... sorry. Okay. And she is...
it hurt.
She's going to be on next week, as a matter of fact, with a video that she did, remembering Mom and Dad, which, let's see, what was their name again? Willie and Millie. That's right. And she's going to be talking about that. We're going to be showing some pictures of Willie and Millie from way back when. Hey folks, once again, we want to thank you so much for tuning us in for a walk through Polka Heaven, episode number 3. And we've got 2 more weekends of this. That's right, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us again next week, Saturday. We do want to make mention of something. There is no Polkas After Dark broadcast tomorrow. Please make a note of it, because I know people are going to be calling up and saying, hey, aren't you on tonight? Due to the big game tomorrow, which is going to be between Buffalo and KC, the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is a late start at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to kick back and watch football, which Jerry and I usually don't do, but these guys have been on fire lately, and we are so excited to watch Josh Allen and the team, Diggs, all of the team that is doing just a fantastic job this season. And so we're going to be hanging out, watching the TV, watching the tube, as they say. So again, please make note, this weekend, also next weekend, Sunday, both Sundays, there is no broadcast. We're going to take a little bit of a hiatus, which is kind of nice, but we will be back here joining you next week on Saturday evening for another Walk Through Polka Heaven, episode number 4. Jerry, do you want to mention anything else before we depart?
I want to know what the song is that Stevie was asking about. The one that Jimmy sang?
Jimmy sang
something about 1 + 1 is 2.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Okay, because he asked what it was, and I was like, I don't know what that song is.
Yeah, I don't really know right offhand, but, you know, we're going to finish out this episode kind of like the way we started with Mr. Mike Nowakowski and the guys in the band with Jerry Darlak and The Touch. Here's one called the Beer Medley.
And The Touch. Oh, yeah. Beer. Beer, 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 everybody, beer.
Here's some great sing-along songs, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to have everybody join in and sing along with the band. In heaven, there is no fear. That's why we drink it here. And when we're gone from here, all our friends will be drinking all the beer. Beer. Oh, the day like today, you can use some ice cubes in that beer. Beer. Mike, let's tell them about the ice cubes.
Ice cubes and beer, boys. Ice cubes and beer. All that she drank was ice cubes and beer. She was my sweetie. I loved her dear. All that she drank was ice cubes and beer.
Oh, beer. Oh, yes. Ice and beer on a day like today. Schwarzenegger.
Beer.
One of the most popular beer songs of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody sing along.
Roll out the barrel. We'll have a barrel of ice.
Everybody.
Roll out the barrel. We've got the blues on the run. Sing for Guerrero. Sing out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll that barrel, for the game's all here.
Now, those are some great sing-along songs of the day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the beer songs of the decade, recorded by Jerry Darlak and The Touch. Here we go, everybody.
'Cause we like beer. Now everybody cheer. We're glad that you're all here. So pour it right in here. 'Cause we like beer. Now everybody cheer. We're glad that you're all here. Let's have another beer.
The one thing that I'll never try, places where the town is dry, not a beer you can buy, it makes me want to cry. Hold your mug up where you are, let's get a beer, it can't be far. Get the keys, hop in the car and drive me to a bar.
'Cause we like beer. Now everybody cheer. We're glad that you're all here. So pour it right in here. 'Cause we like beer. Now everybody cheer. We're glad that you're all here.
Schwarzenegger.
Let's have another beer. 'Cause we like beer. Now everybody cheer. We're glad that you're all here. So pour it right in here. 'Cause we like beer. Now everybody cheer. We're glad that you're all here.
Ladies and gentlemen, raise your glasses high. Enjoy your favorite brew, your favorite drink. Ein Prosit. Dzień dobry. Salud.
Salud.
Buena suerte.
Live it up, shoot the moon. Na zdrowie.
One, two, three, four. Let's have another beer.
Hey, once again, folks, thanks so much for joining us. As Jerry and I always say, if you've been listening in your car,
thanks for the ride.
Hey, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark. We do appreciate it. A walk through polka heaven. Now, here's a quick message from the girls about an upcoming event, New Year's Eve.
Hey everybody, I'm Katie.
And I'm Haley.
And we have an important announcement for you guys.
Now get out your calendars and make plans to attend the Pukoyashu New Year's Eve weekend extravaganza.
When is it, you may ask? Saturday, December 31st, featuring Michael Costa and The Beat and Polka Country musicians. Dinner is at 5:30 p.m. and music is from 7 to 1 a.m.
Now no better way to spend your first day 2023 by listening to Michael Costa and The Beat and Polka Family. Music is from 2 to 8 p.m.
Deadline is November 15th, so don't delay.
For more information and details, call Michael at 908-209-9843.
Or call Jeff at 518-281-1587. Hope to see you guys there.